Good evening. Welcome to Don't Get Spooked, the game show where my friend Heath and I try to tell you a random campfire story. And what do I mean by random? Well,
Don't Get Spooked is a progressive storytelling game. Our contestants will deliver a randomly generated tale over 3 acts. Each act will be broken into 2 rounds. In the first round of Act 1, a beginner storyteller will be chosen. Every act afterward, the starting teller alternates. Each round, the storytellers will spin the spook wheel and generate 3 prompts. The spook wheel is broken into 4 subjects. The green represents ghouls. The purple represents places. The gray represents people. The orange represents objects. After they generate their prompts, the storytellers will then have 2 minutes to integrate those prompts into an ongoing story. For every prompt they successfully integrate, they get 1 point. At Act 2, points are doubled. In Act 3, points are tripled. If they get spooked and can't use their prompt, no points are awarded. So let's hope our storytellers don't get spooked.
who wants to go first? You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Heath is super brave and is going to go first. And Heath, give it a spin.
The Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death. All right, first card is an orange card.
So I have a dowsing rod. I'm not sure what that is.
A dowsing rod, I believe. No, I know what a dowsing rod is. It's that rod that they use to find water in the desert.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they hold it like...
Yeah. And they use
Got it.
It leads them to water.
Okay.
All right. Another object.
All right. A rubber ducky.
A rubber ducky! You have a dowsing rod and a rubber ducky. That goes really well together.
All right. There we go.
Oh, right, a place. There we go, a location.
And we're going to go to Meathead Gym. Meathead Gym.
All right, Meathead Gym, rubber ducky, and a dowsing rod.
Okay.
I'll give you a second to kind of like put it together.
All right.
All right. Tell me when you're ready. Yep.
Okay.
All right, and go.
All right. So our main character, Joe Meathead, he's a gym owner. He goes to the gym every day religiously to pump up his mind and his body. He has a customer though who's a little eccentric. After every workout, he goes into the shower with his rubber ducky. And he's in there for hours and hours as if he's searching for something, but he doesn't quite know what. Finally, one day, Mr. Meathead goes in there and says, "Hey, what the hell are you doing in the shower for so long? You're killing my water bill." And the guy goes, "I'll help you find water, my friend. I'll get you your water back." And he pulls out 2 dowsing rods out of you don't want to know where. And he starts walking around the gym and goes to this one locker. And he hears this odd noise coming from within the locker. He didn't have the key or the combo, but he knew something was wrong. Finally, they get some bolt cutters and they snap open the bolt. The locker comes flying open and a dead body falls out. Tape around the mouth, hands and feet bound, and they both look at each other like, what the F did we just find in the Meathead Gym? How much time do I got left? Oh, look at that! Boom! Boom!
It's a long time. That's amazing.
Perfection!
All right, so Meathead Gym, dowsing rods. That's a perfect score, man. You did all 3. That was actually impressive. I like the eccentric guy with the rubber ducky.
It wasn't easy.
It's not meant to be easy. All right. I got a person. All right. I want to look at them at the end. I want to know, like, in context, all right? So, all right. Oh, orange, like an object and a person?
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, I get, like, the full Monty.
Nice.
Oh, no ghouls yet. All right, so what do I got? So, I had to find a way to get our story to a cabin in the woods. I have to find a way to put a pencil into the story.
Aha.
And I had to find a way to slip in an Olympic level archer.
Nice.
All right. While the smoke pours into my face.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, so just to recap, Meathead Jim found a body in a locker. Rubber ducky guy, he can lead him to water. Did I miss anything?
Nope. So far, so good.
All right. And go. Joe Meathead looked down. Stabbed within the chest of the man in the locker was a pencil. That's right, he was stabbed with a pencil, John Wick style. Gotta look at my cards, because I kind of forget what I need to do. Joe recognized the guy in the ground. That was Barry. Barry, the Olympic level archer that used to come to his gym. What was he doing there? Avoiding smoke, maybe. So the eccentric guy with the ducky leans down to the dead body that fell out of the smoky locker. And he searched this person. Did we confirm he was naked? Was it a naked body?
I didn't
You
take
didn't tell? Okay, cool.
Sure.
All right. So he searched the guy's person. He looked for a wallet, looked for some keys, looked all over. The owner's like, hey man, what are you doing down there? He's like, I'm looking for water. What do you think I'm doing? I told you I'd find water. Joe just kind of shook his head, leaned down, started looking really for like a wallet or keys or some semblance of how this guy arrived in his locker. And in his back pocket, he saw a pamphlet, a brochure for a lovely cabin in the woods, vacation spot. Thought Joe. What is he doing here? What is he doing with a brochure in the back of his pocket? So Joe took out his phone, he called the cabin in the woods, and the phone just rang, and rang, and rang. While the eccentric guy with the ducky in the ground just started wandering off with his dowsing rods. Joe shook his head. He's like, that guy's crazy.
And time.
And time.
Nice.
End of Act 1. 3 points, 3-3. The smoke is obviously attracted to my face. We'll have to play a little bit further away from the fire next time. Okay, so 3 points, 3 points. Beginning of Act 2.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
Let's
Double points, Act 2.
okay.
You got a person? You know how to play it?
Person. I'll do what you did and sort of wait.
All right. Let the suspense fill you. Oh,
Okay.
all right. Come on, get a
Finally.
ghoul in there. Get some ghouls. Ah, another person.
Another
I gotta work 2 new people into the story. It's gonna be fun.
All right, so I have, let's see here. I've got the Crimson Stapler. Red Stapler. I've got Gamma Scientist with anger issues. And we also have a rogue Russian spy. Okay.
So, recap. The guy in the ground had a brochure in his back pocket about a cabin in the woods. Rubber ducky guy has wandered off to look for water. And Joe is left with the mystery about how this guy with a pencil in his chest is left in his gym.
Okay, well. All right, okay.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll start that timer.
I'm ready.
Ready! Timer go.
Okay, so Joe Meathead, while the other guy is around looking for water, Joe Meathead does a little investigating of his own. And he searches the guy and he finds a crumpled up photo, an old photo, shoved up in there.
Shoved where?
in the nethers. He uncrumples the photo and he sees an old guy sitting at a desk. And on that desk was a red stapler. A crimson stapler, if you will. And he says, what is this all about? So he pulls out his android and he does a quick Google search. And he finds that back in the Cold War days, Russian spies used red staplers as a cryptex to send hidden messages stapled to the other side of pieces of paper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So he finds an old, very old list on Google, of course, of old spies that used to be Russian and U.S. spies. And he finds that one is still alive, and he works at CERN.
Of course it is.
And he specializes in gamma Scientologies. And he has anger
The religion?
issues. Yeah. And he's got anger issues. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. Trust me. You wouldn't.
And done. All right, I'm gonna take a quick minute and I'm gonna poke this smoky
Sure.
fire. I'm gonna try to bring this baby back to life. All right, smoky fire time. All right. Yeah. My face! All right, I just
like
burned off
keeping
my
my
eyebrows. I didn't need those eyebrows anyway. It's cool.
Oh, you think that's hot?
No, man, you should touch it.
Yeah.
And we end in tonight's story with a trip to the burn board. All right. Finally. All right. We can put a little spook into the spooky story. And an object. And last but not least, please don't lead me away. Please don't lead me away. Another person. This story is getting beefy. All right, let's figure it out. First. A giant crocodile.
Nice.
Yeah. Like Lake Placid. Aerosol cannon lighter. Oh, all right. Fun times. And I thought I shuffled these, but billionaire philanthropist engineer. All right. See.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Cool. Okay. No. Okay. So we got giant crocodile, aerosol cannon lighter, billionaire philanthropist engineer. Okay. So just to recap, Joe, crumpled paper, shoved where the sun don't shine, pulled it out, red stapler, CERN.
CERN,
Was he
yeah.
going to CERN?
Perhaps.
I should pay attention more closely.
It's on Google.
Okay, it's on to Google.
Gotta Google it.
Crimson staplers, stapler, the military secrets, gamma guy with anger issues. We don't like him when he's angry. Okay, so Joe, Act 2, we have to get into the beef of it, right? And go. So Joe decides that he is going to figure out where this dead man came from. So he books a ticket to CERN.
Okay.
So forgive my ignorance. Where is CERN?
That's in
Switzerland?
Europe. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
I learned that from an Iron Man movie. Okay. Speaking of an Iron Man. So Joe books his ticket, bought for him by his billionaire engineer friend, quite the philanthropist. Joe called him up. He's like, man, listen, I found this dead guy in my gym. I think that he's in line with Russian spies that work at CERN. I have to go check it out. So he flies to Switzerland. But you can't just walk into CERN. You just can't do it.
What you gotta do?
You gotta do what you gotta do. So Joe decides they'll forge some papers. And in forging those papers, he tries to get into CERN, but they won't let him. So he decides, what I need is a distraction. So Joe just goes to a hardware store. He buys an aerosol can and a lighter. And he starts lighting bushes on fire outside CERN. So the security goes rushing toward the bushes. So Joe sneaks in the front door while security is distracted. Sneaks around looking for room to room to room. And he finds a dark room that with the door open, not locked. Because that's how things are at CERN. They're kind of lax with security. He lets himself into the dark room. He hears water. He smells like a murky, murky smell. And out of nowhere leaps a giant crocodile.
Ah, boom.
Yes!
Boom.
Yes. All right.
Giant
Act
croc.
2 down. Act 3. Time to wrap up our story. Tie score so far.
All right.
All right.
Let's see what we got here.
All right. Spin that wheel.
What we got?
Object.
Boom, an object.
All right. Got it. Got it. You can do it.
All right.
Oh, all right. That's a place.
Come on, Tahiti. And then finally,
One more time.
will we get a ghoul?
Go! All right.
We
What do
have
we got? What do we got?
a cheap motel. Hey now.
Hey now.
We have a rotary phone that can call the past.
Spooky.
And now we also have a vengeful dinosaur looking for its bones. Okay. So we're at CERN. We've burned bushes to get inside. We've got a doorway that we went into.
A dark doorway.
A
that
dark doorway.
Joe walked into.
And then
Inside that dark doorway,
was an alligator.
giant crocodile.
Giant croc. Killer
Giant crocodile.
crocs.
Was it giant croc?
Okay.
Yeah, giant crocodile.
All right. So,
Act 3.
man.
Let's do this. Let me know when you're
Okay.
ready, boss. You ready?
Yeah.
You sure you got it? You got it?
I'm ready.
All right. And let the time fly.
So, the killer crocodile was starving. So, Joe Meathead decides, hey, I'll distract this crocodile with an old bone. I don't know where he found the bone inside that dark room. I don't know how he could find it, but he could feel the crocodile's stank breath inches, yeah, from his face. And he reaches out
So macho.
with his left hand and he grabs the first thing, and it's an old dinosaur bone. Ooh, yeah, a vengeful dinosaur bone. And the croc snaps down on the bone and starts doing the death roll. Finally, he hears a phone ringing in the background. And while the croc is still snapping on the bone, he goes to the phone. And it's an old school ancient rotary phone from 1952. It was avocado green rotary phone. He picks it up and it instantly starts dialing and it says, number please, and he goes, 1972. And on the other line was Richard Milhouse Nixon.
And time.
Ah, doggone it, I missed one.
It's in
The cheap motel. I should have.
You're still in the lead, man. You're still in the lead. You can do this.
Man, the cheap motel. How did I miss that? Could have said Watergate.
Oh, you had the Nixon part.
I
love that you use the old dinosaur, a vengeful dinosaur bone that Joe's just like holding on to, like, that's cool, Croc. You just keep on rolling till you tire yourself out. It's cool. You do
go.
you.
There you go.
I love it. Storytelling is fun. Okay. All right. Give it a good spinny spin. I have to go to a place too. All right. A person. Okay. All right.
Another
all
person.
Right, all right. I have to get all these people into our story. Ancillary character. Oh, I gotta get two people.
Woo!
I'm gonna make them twinsies. Just kidding. Twinsies. All right. So what do I got? First things first. A vampire castle.
Ooh.
How am I gonna get to a vampire castle? We're at CERN. Where are vampire castles typically located? Transylvania. Where is that a real place?
Yes and no. Transylvania, I think, is like somewhere in Slovakia,
Okay. So it exists.
like Turkey.
Forgive my ignorance. How far is Slovakia from Switzerland?
Not far.
Crap, this is gonna be hard.
Eurail.
Okay. My first person is a star player of a third grade girls soccer team.
Nice.
Oh, I had a middle-aged carpenter named Joe. See, it is twinsies.
Huh.
All right. The middle-aged carpenter named Joe, star player of a third grade girls soccer team in a vampire castle. When last we saw Joe, he was calling Dickie Nixon. I'm not a crook. With the phone that calls the past. All right.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, and to get to a vampire castle and Joe and little girl. Okay, and go. So Joe is finding himself talking to Richard Nixon on the phone that calls the past. It's like, this can't possibly be right. How could this possibly be? A phone call, a phone that can call the past. I'm talking to Richard Nixon. Nixon hears Joe talking to himself, and the other line he says, who is this? I have no time for this, and hangs up on him. So Joe, still in the dark, tries to redial the number, just kind of pressing random numbers. And he picks it up. His brother answers, who's also named Joe, who's a carpenter from Jersey.
Jersey.
But that can't be right. His brother's dead. He died. Oh, I got it. He died on a trip to Transylvania while visiting a vampire castle, a supposed alleged vampire castle. At the time, his brother Joe had his daughter Trixie with him. Trixie was a star player of her third grade girls soccer team. Joe wept and he cried. And he cried and he wept.
Oh my
At that very moment,
It's a beautiful story.
Joe heard his brother. He's like, I love you, man. I miss you. I miss you. You would not believe where I am. I'm at CERN right now, and I'm wrestling a giant crocodile with a chicken bone. Not chicken bone, a dinosaur bone. His brother Joe's like, who is this? And then right then and there, the phone hung up. The crocodile leapt out of the water. Joe tried to fight it off for another 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and then was swallowed whole by the giant crocodile.
Nice.
As the crocodile rolled into the water and swam away, we fade to black.
Nice.
Act 3 over.
Nice. Trixie.
And I win by 3 points.
It's a beautiful story.
It was a beautiful story. It was a hard clincher. I had to use the phone.
Joe and Joe.
They were twins. And the carpenter died. And Trixie died. And then other Joe died because he got swallowed by a crocodile.
Joe, the Joes.
3 acts, completely random. That was fun. That was a good time. If you enjoyed it, tune in next time for another completely random tale, while we do our best not to get spooked. All right. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
It's messed up on a rotary phone. It's not pushing buttons.
See, that shouldn't count.
That should be minus 3
That
points.
should be
right there.
minus 3 points.
Or actually 4.